Hi there. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use a new disk that you have just added to your virtual machine or cached operating system. How to create a new disk and add it to your existing virtual machine or cached operating system. I have already covered that topic in a separate video that you can watch if you have not already. I'm using a CentOS operating system, so I'm going to use my virtual machine for this demonstration purpose. As storage related activities require admin privileges or root privileges, so I'm going to log in as a root user. When I hit df command, I can see that my partitions are listed here and where they are mounted. Your new disk is not listed here. I have already created a disk of about 10 GB size. So let's use fdisk command. Look at the last stanza. You see disk /dev/stc 10.7 GB. So that is the new disk I have added to my virtual machine, which is running CentOS Linux. Before you can use a new disk, whether a physical disk or a virtual disk, you need to format it. So when you format a disk, you create a file system on it. So let's use this command mkfs.ext4 because ext4 is what I am planning to use as the file system type for my new disk. Please be careful that you specify the correct name, otherwise you may accidentally format some other disk already in use or which is not being in use but you have data on it. Okay, so what we see is the entire device, not just one partition. Proceed anyway, yes or no? So it basically means that you can create multiple partitions on this disk, or you can use it as one single partition on its own. So I'm going to hit Y here and enter. So it has done the work. But again, if I use df command to see all the partitions, the new disk is not appearing here STSC because I have to mount it. So we can have an existing folder or directory as the mount point, or we can create a new directory. So I'm going to create a new directory. Let's say I'm going to use this new disk for storing my software packages. So I give it a name, something like a software repo, for example. And use mount, use the disk name, which is C here, STC, and the mount point. Sometimes you may need to specify type here with -t ext4 for example, but the file system type was automatically recognized by the mount command, so we didn't face any problem. So I'll just cancel this, use df again. Please look at the last line. You see the disk in the leftmost column /save/hdc, its size in the second column, and as you can see in the last column it has been mounted on the directory /software-repo. Let's see if there is anything. So there is no content actually, just this lost plus found directory. This is also a good indication that our disk or partition has been successfully mounted. Let's go into that directory using the cd command. As we know, we have only this lost plus found directory here, so let's quickly create a subdirectory for testing purpose. Let's give it name test. Let's also create a dummy file, give it some name such as hello. Well, let's write something to a file. Let's see what we have got here. So we have successfully created some directories and files here. So we have actually verified that our new disk or new partition is working fine. When you reboot your machine and then you run df command or you use any other method to access this folder will be there because we have created it and it is on the root file system, but the disk /save/hdc will not be here in the output because it will not be automatically mounted. So you have temporarily mounted here by running the mount command. So we can now make it permanent by adding an entry into this file. I show you. Inside /etc there is this file fs tab. Go at the end of the file and specify the source, which is /save/sdc, and where we want to mount it, software repo, and then its type ext4, and then some options. So let's just use defaults. 0 and 0 because we don't want to enable file system check at the system boot for this disk. Let's save this file. I'm clearing the screen. I used df command. I can see the disk is already mounted, so I am going to unmount it, but before I can unmount it I need to get out of it. So outside it, I'm here now. Use umount command. Now let's verify. So it has been unmounted. So when you reboot the system you will see similar output. You won't see the disk mounted already unless you make an entry into that file in /etc directory. The file is fs tab. I just showed you here. So here is the last entry we have added. So now if you reboot, you will see the disk mounted, but without rebooting I want to show you how it works. So I have intentionally unmounted it and use mount with a -a. So all the partitions listed in this file will be mounted again. So let's see if it works. So you can see the last line in the output shown here, that disk has been mounted. So whenever your system boots up, that file is read by the system, and whatever partitions are mentioned there, they are made available or mounted. So this is how you use a new disk. Of course, there are other methods in case you are using LVM or logical volume manager. Then you may not want to use your disk in the way we just did. You may want to make that disk part of your LVM. So how we use LVM, that's another story, and I'm covering that part in a separate video. That's all to it. Thank you.